Okay, welcome back, third grade. It was easier just to start a new video. So this is part 2 of our Shurley grammar today, where we're in reference 29 and reference 31. So now we're on reference 31, and we're going to take some sentences and we're going to do some sentence work with them. We're going to correct some run-on sentences with what we just learned about simple sentences, simple compound subject sentences, and simple compound verb sentences. All right, so look at number 1 with me. They have a baby. Her name is Connie. Is they have a baby a complete thought? I think so. That could be a sentence all on its own. What about her name is Connie? Absolutely. If I say her name is Amanda, her name is Connie, his name is Magnus, those are all simple sentences that can stand alone on their own, right? They have a subject and a verb, and they make complete sense. So what I need to do when I look at these sentences is I need to look at the parentheses, because they give me a clue of how to correct the run-on sentence. So this one says SS, which we just learned is a simple sentence. So that tells me that I need to make this into 2 simple sentences. So the first thing I do to do that is I look and I divide the 2 complete thoughts with a slash. So I'm going to look at this. They have a baby. Her name is Connie. I already decided that those were 2 separate complete thoughts. So I'm going to put a little line between those. Okay, the next thing I would do to make these 2 separate sentences is, what do sentences need? I know that these 2 sentences have everything they need, but once I put the slash through them, it looks like I need an end mark on my first sentence. I need some capitalization here. So once I make those changes, once I put an end mark after they have a baby, and once I capitalize her, and I'm going to make my changes in red so you can see what I've done. Her name is Connie. Now I have 2 sentences that make complete sense. They have correct capitalization and punctuation, and they're 2 complete thoughts. So I've corrected this run-on sentence by making it into 2 sentences. All right, we've got a couple more options for correcting run-on sentences. So let's look at example 2 in reference 31. Let's see. My mom is painting the house. I've written it here for you to look at too. My dad is painting the house. This is a run-on sentence that obviously we need to correct, and we start that by putting a slash, just like we did on the last one, between the 2 complete thoughts. So let's see what those 2 complete thoughts might be. My mom is painting the house. My dad is painting the house. Pretty obvious there that my mom is painting the house is a complete thought all on its own, and then my dad is painting the house is another complete thought. So I just need to take my little pen or pencil here, whatever you're using, and I need to put a little slash between my 2 thoughts. This one has something different after it though. Look, it doesn't have an SS, it says SCS. Remember that means, and this is in reference 29, I went ahead and erased that board so it wouldn't distract you, but you've got that right in reference 29. So if you look at reference 29, that's a simple sentence with a compound subject. And so that is telling me how I need to correct this run-on sentence. I'm going to make it into 1 sentence with a compound subject. All right, so when I have a compound subject, I would write the subjects with the word and, with a conjunction in between them. So my mom and dad. The problem is my mom and dad, now I've got a plural subject. I've got 2 people I'm talking about, but I've got a singular verb, and I don't have subject-verb agreement. My singular verb is going to have to change to the plural verb are. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. The new sentence is my simple sentence with a compound subject. So my mom, now I know I need to change this to my mom and dad. Got that compound subject now. My mom and dad. Well, we just talked about how I can't have my mom and dad. I can't have that plural subject with this singular verb. I've got to have subject-verb agreement. So is has to change to are. My mom and dad are painting the house. All right, so as long as that makes complete sense, my mom and dad are they're not complaining the house, they're painting the house. My mom and dad are painting the house. I've got an in mark, I've got a compound subject there, and a subject and verb agreement. Now I have corrected that run-on sentence. All right, let's move on to Dad is cutting the lawn. He is also raking the lawn. Obviously, this is a run-on sentence that we need to correct, and we start, remember, by putting a slash between the two complete thoughts. So Dad is cutting the lawn. He is also raking the lawn. Those look like two different thoughts. I'm going to put my slash right here after lawn. Now look at the end of number 3. It says SCV, which I know now stands for simple compound verb. All right, and so I have a run-on sentence that I can correct by making into a simple sentence with a compound verb. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get rid of my two subjects. Dad, I'm sorry, I'm looking at a different example in your book. It says David is cutting the lawn. Did I make a mistake? I made a mistake. Dad is not cutting the lawn. David, I was thinking, what is going on here? Thought I was reading something wrong. David is cutting the lawn, not Dad. But David and he are the same thing in here, okay? They're the same subject. So I can get rid of he and just have David as my subject. David is doing something. What is he doing? David is cutting the lawn, but he's also raking the lawn. Well, saying the lawn twice would be redundant. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the lawn and my little slash here. David is cutting, and just like we did with our compound subject, with our compound verb, I'm going to need to add the conjunction and, but this time I'm adding them between my two verbs or my two action words. David is cutting, and I'm going to get rid of is also. David is cutting and raking the lawn. Now I've got a simple sentence with a compound verb. It makes sense. I've got a subject. I've got two verbs, a conjunction that joins them together. I just need to remember that anything that's a part of my predicate phrase, the lawn, I still have to include. I can't get rid of that when I change my sentence. It can't say David is cutting and raking the lawn. So keep your complete predicate together there. Okay, and then we've corrected that sentence. I want you now to look, there's a little bottom section on reference 31, and it allows you to go through, it's practice 3, and they are all sentence fragments. And you're gonna make those complete by adding the underlined part. So look in practice 3 of your reference. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at your book. So let me look at your book. I'm looking at my book. And I'm not sure if this is in reference 29 or reference 31. And I want to tell you the right thing. So look at reference 29. Let me make sure it's not in 31. Nope. Look at reference 29. And I want you to go ahead and look at practice 3. And I want you to try that on your own before you move on today. So right down here, practice 3, it's giving you two fragment sentences, and then in parentheses, make each fragment, underline the right thing in the parentheses to make each fragment a complete sentence. So go ahead and take what you've learned today and put that to practice here as a little practice set before you move on to your sentence work on the Unit 3 group. Let's see, I believe it's the Unit 3 Group 3 test that you're finishing up from last week. So do that practice, and then work on, I'm sorry, it's Unit 3 Group 2 test. Go ahead and do the sentence work after this at the bottom of the test, and rewatch the video if you need to, but I don't think you'll need to do that because you've got reference 29 and reference 31 that give you all the information you need to correct these run-on sentences and to identify simple sentences with compound subjects, and simple sentences with compound verbs. All right, thank you for being patient with me, you guys. I miss you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.